Alt season is coming. This is something that you've probably gotten tired of hearing because everyone has been saying it for so long, including even myself. But one thing to focus on is what I have been mentioning around alt season and the path towards alt season. Because right now, as we really look at that path, it seems to be getting forged out. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to be addressing it. But first, I want to say welcome in, everyone. My name is Nick. For all those that are new to the channel, I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you are a subscriber. But with that being said, let's talk about this. So March 7th of this year, we saw this article get put out by Cointelegraph. Alt season is coming, or at least data suggests that it's close. And ultimately speaking, as we really look at this, right, the main reason why everyone is betting on alt season is because it's very clear at this point that alt season is going to happen. Okay. I see a lot of people saying like, oh no, we have to wait until 2025, 2026. Like these time periods are just getting more and more ridiculous as time goes on. And it's because, you know, everyone in terms of their frustration, their emotions, they're completely flat or even just in the dumps because for so long we've been just watching these charts just go stagnant, just waiting for a big move. And a lot of people are extremely frustrated. They want to get paid now and they want to make sure that they're profiting now. But I want you guys to understand that patience is crucial during these times of just accumulation and just ranging. Now, as we do go over here to the altcoin market, we are breaking out a little bit. As you guys do see here, we're peaking above the trend line, which is solid. We're at the first target here at about roughly almost $707 billion. I wouldn't mind a back test of this bottom trend line at about roughly like $684 billion before we break to that $779 billion level. And this is the high previously. I mean, it is a little bit higher on this chart technically. It's like around roughly $788 billion. But the level that I was looking at is a weekly resistance zone at about roughly $776 billion. It's what we hit back in March. That's what we want to get a weekly candle close over. But ultimately speaking, this weekly candle on the total 3, which is the altcoin market, looks very, very solid. But after we break 776 billion, guys, I mean, yeah, the next target is like around 820 some billion, but this is not going to hold all that well. I ultimately think the next target here is about roughly 859 billion, but this will already have us on the path to $1 trillion. We're going to break that previous all-time high back in 2021 of roughly 1.13 trillion. And from there, we really kind of just target those next levels, which is 2 to 2.5 trillion, which is my full-on targets this alt season for the total 3. Now, outside of this, a lot of people have been looking at the catalyst. Just recently, GameStop stock has been going crazy, and this has been turning a lot of heads. This is bringing in a lot of attention to, you know, GameStop, and oh, we're now betting big on it. What we saw back in 2020 into 2021 was the same exact thing. GameStop went crazy, and from there on out, guess what? We started to see the flood come into crypto. And here we have breaking. Roaring Kitty is set to be a billionaire as GameStop stock surges to $67.50 per share in after hours trading. If GameStop opens at or above current levels tomorrow, his shares will be worth $325 million and options worth $700 million for a combined total of $1 billion plus. That's an $850 million gain on his position. Now, as we look at this, right, this is very volatile trading in TradFi. How are they going to push this into crypto? Well, just like back in 2021, degens will degen. They will push into crypto because this is where all of the gains are. And outside of just this, right, narratives are starting around a lot of things, even with, you know, Trump. I want you all to succeed this alt season. So I put together a full list of tools that you guys can utilize to track where the largest whales are putting their money in this space that could ultimately net you a ton of ROI. I'm also giving out 30 free crypto gems that are fully researched and even broken down into specific risk categories. Both of these guides are completely free. All you have to do is claim your access right now by utilizing one of the links down in the description below. What are you guys waiting for? Make sure that you guys have access to this, especially for this alt season that is nearing. We have Standard Chartered Bank says Bitcoin will reach $150,000 if Donald Trump wins presidential election. Like, they're already reeling in the retail crowd. In my opinion, I do think that this will be a top signal because there's so much really kind of weighing in on Donald Trump winning. I personally think that the market tops very early, and I'll talk about why here in a second. But also over here, we have Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says, we believe crypto will fundamentally reorganize the financial system. Like, this is all in just like the last 24 hours. So you could clearly see things heating up in a very large way. And we also just saw Van Eck predict that Ethereum will reach $22,000 by 2030. These headlines get the attention of the retail crowd because Van Eck is a $90 billion asset manager. They recognize the name, they know the name, and they listen. When Van Eck is talking, they listen. When BlackRock is talking, they listen. When these TradFi giants talk, the retail crowd listens. Now, outside of this, Nvidia just recently surpassed a $3 trillion market cap. And what does this mean for crypto? How does this even pertain to crypto? Well, we're going to see a massive rotation. Guys, Nvidia hit a $3 trillion market cap. Do I need to tell you guys that crypto back in November of 2021 topped at a $3 trillion plus market cap? Yeah, you can clearly see what's about to happen. We're going to start to see the largest rotation in history. And no, I'm not trying to sell you guys on a used car. Combining the Nvidia rally, the GameStop rally, all of the mainstream media attention around crypto, the rotation into crypto is going to get so crazy. It's not even funny. We've witnessed this in the past. 2021 is a perfect example of this, and you need to prepare yourselves to cut positions and take profits. This is, I'm not even joking with you guys. You will get trapped if you are not ready. Over here we have from Bobby A, whether you like it or not, this market is still in phase one. And I have been saying this since day one, because guess what? We're still only in phase one. We're not in phase two yet. There have been some altcoin frontrunners, but capital is still flowing into Bitcoin. That said, phase 2 to 4 typically comes fast and are finished even faster. Stay the course. And as we really look at this, right? Ethereum ETFs. And then we got this announcement around Van Eck with a $22,000 Ethereum prediction. I do believe that phase 2 is loading. Phase 2 into this altcoin season is loading. Once phase 2 starts, this space is going to go crazy. During that time, things will be finished fast. The market will top fast. We have about roughly 3 to 6 months. Over here from Mikey Bull, we have I welcome you to the explosive incoming alt season as the GC indicator flipped bullish for the first time since 2020. It's time. And yes, as we look at this, we can go back to 2021. This is right at the same exact time where GameStop started going crazy. Everyone was looking at it. We started to see some stocks going pretty insane as well. A lot of people were making a ton of money off of stocks, and the rotation just happened. And that's when the entire market started to wake up in a very large way. That's when altcoins started to go crazy as well. We're pretty much at that same exact point in time where now we're looking at some very significant rallies. Now, this chart is taking us to about roughly like 3.15 trillion. Again, it's right around my $2 to $2.5 trillion mark anyways. I'd rather be selling a little bit early than late, right? We want to make sure that we are getting our profits off the table before the market eats them. But outside of this, as we look at Bitcoin, right? This is on the 12-hour. I have been following this for a little bit of time. We're now peaking above the upper trend line. We need to get a major move over 71,414 And then from there, we target some of the previous highs, specifically this previous high from just May 20th at about roughly almost 72K. And then we talk about some of these other levels like 72,732. And then we target that 73,700 plus dollar level. Ultimately, we want to break over 74K. Like that's the major target here. We want to move over 74K, and that will really kind of set the pace for us to target $80,000 to $90,000 in the short term. And ultimately, I do believe that will happen before the end of the summer. Now, outside of that, as we do start to see Bitcoin breaking to the upside, if we are going to break to the upside like this, right? What we want to see is Bitcoin dominance pretty much do this. We already lost the structure. Now, the structure was outlined on a much higher time frame. I think it was on the daily. Might have been on the 3-day, actually, now that I think about it. Or the weekly. Let me check out the weekly here, because I know that I was charting this. Yeah, so this is on the weekly. So as you guys can see, we already lost the structure on the weekly, and we're already trying to retest the bottom trend line here. If we go back to the lower time frame on the 12-hour, you can kind of see how we're just grinding against this trend line now. What we want to ultimately watch for is a major rejection off of this. So we're going to chop against it a little bit. A lot of people will say like, oh, Bitcoin dominance is about to gain some steam. It's still under this structure, and it's still already lost the structure. So now we just wait for this to sell off in a massive way while Bitcoin is going parabolic to 90 to 100K or whatever target you guys wanted to hit. Again, for me personally, I'm just watching for us to hit a target where euphoria is in the market, and we could ultimately just sell our positions, because once euphoria hits the market, there's not a lot of time until the market is topped out. Now, I have outlined this on 3 individual posts. May 26th was the first post. I said there's so much money to be made this cycle. Within the next 2 months, you will see the entire space wake up significantly. By the way, this was May 26th. Let's go back to what May 26th looked like on this chart. Here we were on May 26th, right? We're under 70K. We're just kind of chopping, ranging a little bit. And then we woke up in a very large way. And here we are at 71K. Again, the ultimate focus here was long-term, weeks, months ahead. That's why I said that in the next 2 months, we will wake up. I'm expecting the middle of June and the beginning of July when we start to see the real fireworks. We're at June 7th, right? We're getting closer to the middle of the month. Bitcoin is already at 70K plus. We're waiting for Bitcoin dominance to take that last major leap of faith to the upside right before it sells off heavily. That's when altcoins wake up. I'm still expecting the middle of this month into the beginning of July to really start the major moves around altcoins. The honest truth is that no matter how ready you may think you are, you aren't. What's about to happen is going to mess with your emotions significantly. You need to block them out now. The only goal you should have is to make sure that you don't lose money. Take profits and ensure that you are getting paid for your time in this market. Let's win together this cycle. Over here, alt season starts mid-June, beginning of July. This is my prediction, and I personally see the market really heating up this summer. I'm still expecting to de-risk towards the end of the year, as I'm anticipating a top in Q4 of this year or Q1 of 2025, the latest. And like I said, the narratives are already starting around 2025. We have, the Donald Trump prediction around like, oh, if he gets elected, Bitcoin will reach 150K, this, that. It's just kind of setting the traps for retail. Again, you can play into this however you want. It doesn't really matter, right? The thing to focus on is euphoria. Once euphoria is in the market, that's when you start to really de-risk. But I said that the next bear market won't be the same as previous ones with upcoming regulations, so I wouldn't want to be left bag holding after this cycle. Have a percentage you allocate to specific holdings for moon bags, depending on entries, but I'd definitely be cautious holding onto bags. And then, of course, last but not least, if you are getting bullish on altcoins right now, just wait until we are in the middle of the month. We have been preparing accordingly for these moves to finally happen. Legends will be forged over the course of the next few weeks and months ahead. Whatever you do, don't forget to take profits off the table before the market eats them back up. And yes, I cannot stress that, guys. Like, when we really look at this market, you need to know that whatever moves volatile to the upside moves volatile to the downside. Okay? Take profits along the way. If there is life-changing money sitting in front of you, why not realize some of that in? Because at the end of the day, the market doesn't care about your situation, doesn't care about, if you're struggling. It only cares about what the market wants to do. And things don't go up forever. The alt season won't last forever. We have 3 to 6 months once alt season officially begins to make sure that we get paid as much as possible. So please prepare now so that you don't get left in the dust later. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.